Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Poetry in the PM. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a good weekend. What'd you do this weekend? What are you guys doing to stay sane up here? Like I always do, I want to thank our healthcare workers. Thank you guys so much. Nurses, doctors, anybody working in a hospital, we love you guys. Thank you so much for keeping us safe. Hope this doesn't have to go on for too much longer and you guys can get back to your regular schedule, which is also just as demanding and stressful, but at least we won't have these numbers. I'm hoping the curve is starting to flatten and we can get back, because this has been definitely frustrating for a lot of people, and I've been, on social media and reading a lot of articles about, just the impact that this has been having on so much of the world, and certainly being so connected to Italy, as most of my family is there. The way this has impacted our already fragile economy has been really devastating. I really don't know how we're going to come out of this, especially in places like Italy, for example, which relies so much on tourism for its wealth. I hope that when this is all over, that people will flood the gates of Italy and Europe and other places to re-stimulate those economies who have suffered so much from this, in a safe way. Of course, I'm not recommending to do anything reckless, but if it is safe, finally, I hope we can all return to these places and show them our love, because they're definitely hardest hit. And small businesses that were already struggling, are now, if they haven't already collapsed, they're on the brink of collapse. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Sending you guys a lot of love. Today's poem. So over the weekend, I watched a documentary. It seems to be almost all I watch nowadays. I'm taking in very little television, very little films. I'm sort of in this state of just wanting to absorb information, a ton of information from all different kinds of sources, and so I'm just more drawn to documentaries as like, oh, I don't really know much about that subject, would love to learn more, and click. And so I watched this documentary on Netflix called A Secret Love. And I gotta say, it's one of the most beautiful documentaries and stories that I've seen in a long time. And for you guys who have already seen A Secret Love on Netflix, I know you can, I'm sure, attest to how beautiful it was. And if you guys have not, let me see here, some comments are scrolling here. And if you guys have not, A Secret Love is a documentary now streaming on Netflix that tells the story of two women who are lesbians and who have loved each other for their whole lives, practically. But they were growing up in the late 40s, 50s, and 60s. And they are Canadian, but they met in sports and then moved together to America. And this documentary sort of documents their story, not just their love story and how powerful their love was for each other, and how beautiful the love between these two women were, Pat and Terry. It also spoke of the immense challenges of their love to exist, with severe homophobia that was going on back then. And look, it's still happening now, but we've made a lot of breakthroughs in that sector, but there's still always a battle to fight. Ignorance still runs rampant and has not reached the ends of the earth yet. The healing of ignorance, at least. And in the 50s and the 60s, they tell stories about having to go underground, and people who were gay were persecuted, and if they were caught in gay clubs, they would actually arrest them, first of all, because it was a crime to be gay, which is so stupid. But they would also then take their names down, and they would publicize their names in the newspaper. so that they would be found out and they would be fired and persecuted by their families. And so you had this massive amount of LGBTQ plus population that was encapsulated all over North America that was being persecuted and outed, and this resulted in horrible things, families disowning them, they're losing their jobs, being fired, and just horrible things. And these two women, I mean, they played it just as if they were spies, essentially. They played characters all day and pretended not to know each other, but they lived with each other, and they overcame this immensely oppressive time and homophobic time with so much ignorance and hate, and they overcame it, and they were able to live together their whole lives and have this amazing love in secret. Which in a way, of course, you feel horrible that these people had to hide their love. No one should ever have to hide their love or hide who they are, or hide the type of people that they love. Everybody should be celebrated for who they love and who they are. There should never be any judgment about that. But in a way, it was kind of beautiful because they went through such great lengths to preserve their love, and had they not had their love, they could not have gotten through everything that they did. And anyway, it was a remarkable documentary. I urge you all to watch it and celebrate our LGBTQ plus community. And it was just a beautiful celebration of their life and their love. And within this documentary, they were going through old photographs of them growing up, writings and letters they had written to each other, and they found a poem. And they found a poem that this one woman, Pat, wrote to her partner, Terry. And if you guys are emotional like me, be warned, this documentary will make you cry multiple times. But there was a poem that they found that she had written to her when they were much younger, and it was sort of around the time that they had just met. And they talked about, whenever they would meet, it would have to be very secret. And there was one time where there was like this sandstorm wherever they were. I think it might have been Chicago or something. But anyways, there was a sandstorm, so everybody was forced inside, and everyone was in their homes, and the sandstorm, this dust was flying all over the place. Nobody could see anything. And in this moment, it was just the two of them on the street, outside, broad daylight, surrounded by this veil of sand, and they kissed each other. And it was one of the most electrifying moments of their lives, because here they were, young and in love and lesbians, and they were out on a street in public, something they would have never even met. They wouldn't even have touched or held hands, never forget kissing. And they held each other and they kissed each other. And it was, this liberating, amazing feeling. And just watching them talk about it gives you chills. And anyway, so she wrote a poem about them and their time together, and I thought I watched it and I transcribed it, and I thought I would share the poem with you. So this is from Pat to Terry, and it's called Always I'll Remember This Night. It might have been just one more walk beneath the moonlight hue, but darling, it meant everything, because I walked with you. It might have been just one more night, a single night of 7. My darling, you were there with me. 'Twas one more night of heaven. On we sauntered, seldom speaking, as we passed through Moonlight Lane. Happiness walked there inside me when you smiled and called my name. Hours fled like winged moments, hand in hand, we walked alone. It was one night I shall remember, one more night to call our own. Anyway, super, super beautiful poem, and just, on the backdrop and context of their love, it's just incredible. So it just got me thinking of, I've been doing this for, I think, a little over a month now, and I haven't yet done a poem to celebrate our LGBTQ plus community, and I wanted to dedicate a poem to you guys. If you're not feeling seen in this moment, if you're alone, if you're feeling like a lot of the ads on TV aren't featuring, queer couples or gay couples, and you're not feeling seen or heard in this moment, you're not able to be with your loved one, if you're in a situation where, we just had Mother's Day, and I can't even tell you how many friends of mine who are within that group who have, lost ties to their family because they came out to them. And so Mother's Day or Father's Day can be a sensitive time. So I want to celebrate you guys too, who took a risk to be true to yourselves, even though it cost you maybe a family member, 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. But there's no greater feeling than living your truth. And it takes immense bravery to do that. So I want to congratulate all of you. And this poem was for you guys. And again, the documentary, if you want to watch it and celebrate LGBTQ love, it's called A Secret Love, and it's on Netflix. Also, I wanted to wish everybody, all the moms out there, a happy Mother's Day. But like my post, I also wanted to mention that not everybody has a mom or has a relationship with their mom. And so for those, or maybe you had a really shitty mom who wasn't great to you, and you had to find a new mom within an aunt or an older friend of yours, or an adopted parent or a guardian, there is nothing that, there's nothing about blood that makes us family. And I said this in my post. Family is a feeling. You find your family with people who love and respect you. That is family. I have had great friends in my life who mean much more to me than certain members of my family, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. We can make family out of who we choose, and who chooses to love and respect us for our truths. And so I know, these days like Mother's Day and Father's Day can be triggering and difficult for people who don't fall into the spectrum of I have a loving, amazing, alive parent. And so I just wanted to be sensitive to that, and to know that I see you people as well, that you're seen, and that I love you and you are loved, and that no matter what your family looks like, it's beautiful. And if you've chosen it to be your family, then that's what it's about. So again, this poem was on the documentary A Secret Love. You can stream it on Netflix. I thought it was beautiful. And just these two women who have loved each other for so long. They got into their 90s, just had been together their whole lives and seen so much change, and sort of the end of the documentary sort of climaxes in them getting legally married, which waterworks on that one for sure. Was so beautiful. So again, I'm going to take to your comments for a little bit, see if you guys have any questions, and I would love to hear from you guys. L'Italia ti ama, grazie anch'io. Sergio, fammi un deal. Great poem. Oh, sorry. Great poem. Can you please say hi, Noah and Tamar? Hi, Noah and Tamar. Sei mai venuto in Italia con tua moglie? Ci siamo sposati in Italia. Somebody asked me if I've ever been to Italy with my wife, and I said we were married there. So yes, we've definitely been there. Where is your dog? Can you say hi to Maria Luisa from Brazil? Hi, Maria Luisa. My dog is in the next room. He's sleeping. His favorite thing to do. Hello, Ava. Saluti da Roma. Ciao, Ilaria. A lot of Italians today. I love it. Can we see your dog? Next time. Next time I'll get him. I knew when I got a dog that you guys were going to care more about my dog than me. My ego is really being offended right now, okay, guys? Jeez. The attention must always be on me. Ciao, Giacomo, dalle Dolomite. Wow, amazing. Dolomites. Happy birthday, Noga. Ciao. Yeah, is there anything else you guys want me? Is there a poem from you guys that you... I want to see if maybe I can do some lives like with you guys, maybe. But can you tell us about your Grey's audition? Sure, I can do that. I was in Toronto in 2014, and I sent a tape for an audition I had got for Grey's Anatomy, and I never heard back for months, probably about 5 months. 5 months later, I finished doing this series about called The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe, and with Susan Sarandon in Toronto, which was an awesome period piece, and I got to play Marilyn Monroe's first husband. You guys can go check that out if you want, called The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe. And I just finished shooting that in Toronto. It was February of 2015, and I left for LA to do my first pilot season, try to get a job out here. I had already worked in Los Angeles before, on and off. I'd kind of like fly in for a job, fly out, guest star, that kind of thing. But I wanted to live here for a couple months and just kind of put my feet down here in Los Angeles. And while I was driving with my two crazy amigos, Anthony and Sid, from Toronto to Los Angeles with nothing but a guitar and like 1,000 Cliff Bars, I got a call from my management saying that it had been 5 months, but they were still looking for this role that I had auditioned for, and they hadn't found it. And so Shonda Rhimes wanted to meet with me when I arrived in Los Angeles and do a callback audition with her producers. So I said, great. So I started flipping through my emails and going over the material again and kind of retouching in with the character and seeing what I could find, because it had been so long since my audition. I arrived there. I met with Shonda Rhimes. I met with Betsy Beers and some other people and producers, and Linda Lowy, of course, our amazing, amazing casting director, who casts week after week such incredible actors that I get to work with. After my audition, I got the job, and it was only for a couple episodes, and then it grew into a bigger role. I wasn't brought on as this sort of big character that was supposed to do anything special per se, but it definitely grew into something, and then I've been there for 5 years, and here I am, Dr. DeLuca. Oh, fun fact, originally my name was Dr. Falco. That was what I auditioned as. And what they were trying to make me, Dr. Falco. But I think there was some kind of like legality, like the name was taken, or the rights, they couldn't get the rights to Falco or something like that. So then it was DeLuca. But anyway, just so you know. So great question. There you go. What else we got here? DeLuca is better. I think so too. Who would you like to work with? Oh, God. The late Robin Williams, who I miss dearly, if we're talking about alive or dead. But alive, man. good question. Woman, Betty Davis. And man, probably maybe like Robert Duvall or Hoffman, Dustin Hoffman. Yeah. Good question. Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, I'd love to work with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a great dude who does a lot for the world, which I super appreciate. He's super into protecting our earth, our oceans, our environment. So yeah. Do you like Taylor Swift? I'm not a huge fan. She's a lovely person. Seems amazing, but not typically the music I really listen to. What area did you grow up in? Toronto, North York, sort of Bayview and York Mills kind of area. Kind of bobbed around there. If it was up to you, what would you pick for the storyline of your character? I think we're doing a pretty good job. I like where we're at right now in the story of mental health that we're telling, and so yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we're going. Have you been in South Africa? I have not. The only place I've visited in Africa is Kenya so far, which was amazing, but I hope to visit South Africa because it just looks amazing. And I've met a lot of South African people, and you guys are so kind. So yeah, I can't wait. Actually remind me a lot of Canadian people. Again, this poem that I read, beautiful celebration of love, and yeah, just thought I'd share it with you guys. It's not an any poetry book. It's not online. It was just a human being who was moved to write about her love for another woman, which was so beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will see you guys tomorrow for another Poetry in the PM. I'll see what I bring. I got to dig something out of some books. And also, if you remember last week, my friends from Channel 13 made this beautiful children's book here called Then the Robins Sang. It's a beautiful children's book. It's available for purchase on Amazon. You can get it, Then the Robins Sang. Great book. I think it very aptly kind of describes quarantine to children in a really creative and beautiful and safe way that's engaging and fun. So I would urge you to buy it for your kids if you have, because all the money goes to charity. Good cause. All right, I'm going to sign off, guys. I love you. I hope you're having a great day, a great week, and I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. for another episode of Poetry in the PM. Bye, guys.